Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. If you're a Habs fan like I am, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment and a thumbs up if you like the video. I'm not sure anybody's going to like this video with the news that is out, that came out yesterday. So, of course, I'm doing a live stream last night. Like, it's 9 o'clock, the live stream, and at 8:30, right around 8:30, the news comes out that I'll show you how I saw it, okay? So I got sent a few things. I hadn't heard about this news. News comes out here. Let me just see. From Pierre Lebrun, hearing that Carey Price has waived his no move for purpose of exposure in the expansion draft so that the Habs could protect Jake Allen in the expansion draft. The thought is that Seattle wouldn't want to pick up the rest of Price's hefty contract, but I guess we'll see. Then I read this. Report, Bergevin asked Price to waive his no movement clause. And it's like, okay, so we like, it doesn't say he has exactly. LeBron is hearing that and they're hearing Bergevin. So, and then like within minutes, we get this from TSN confirming Montreal Canadiens goaltender Carey Price has waived his no movement clause for the expansion draft. So that Montreal is going to leave him unprotected. And then the protected list come out today. And if you're wondering, well, if this is just a rumor, it's not. It's confirmed by TSN. And here's the protected list, and you can see on the bottom there, Allen is protected. So they're protecting Jake Allen. I guess figuring that Seattle won't pick up Price. Let's go over the list. So Anderson, Armia, Evans, Gallagher, KK, Lehkonen and Toffoli for the forwards are being protected. Sherratt, Edmondson, Petrie on defense are also being protected. And if we look at, I put out a list yesterday. This is my final list. If you take Price away and put Allen there, because who would have thought? I've got the same thing. Sherratt, Petrie, Edmondson on defense, Gallagher, Anderson, Toffoli, KK, Lehkonen, Evans, Armia. Take Drouin out of there because I wasn't sure, but I didn't think they would protect Drouin. I think not protecting Drouin is maybe a sign that they're ready now to move on from Drouin. All right, so the news comes out that Carey Price waived his no movement clause, and it's like you got to take a minute and shake your head and go, what? And now I got to do a live stream, and it's not really going to be about that because this isn't expected. So I had to revamp it. I had like 20 minutes to revamp the thumbnail, revamp the agenda for the live stream. And we talked about it. And it's hard to wrap your head around it. So here's what I've got. Now, the reason that they're figuring that maybe that Seattle won't pick him up is this is what's left. Nope. Wrong thing. Actually, I didn't put it up on one of those. Okay, so he has an $11 million signing bonus that's due this year. On top of, so that's before the season starts, and then $2 million is his salary. So that's $13 million they're on the hook for right there. The following two seasons, I might have this a little bit wrong, but the numbers are basically the same. I might be off by $1 million. He's getting $6.5 million in signing bonuses for the 2 years following that, plus the $2 million, and then a $5.5 million signing bonus plus the $2 million, and a $5.5 signing bonus plus $1 million on the last year of his contract. So there's a lot of money to be paid left yet to Carey Price, and it's a big cap hit. Does Seattle have the room? I mean, obviously they're starting out with zero, so if they build around him, they have the room. But I don't know. Do they want to take on such a big contract? He is. We'll go over why they might want to. He's from Anaheim Lake, BC, which isn't that far on the Canadian side from Seattle. He played hockey in Washington, I believe in Spokane or Tri-Cities. I'm not 100% sure where there. And his wife is from Washington, so you can understand how, first of all, Carey Price is a huge name, so that in Seattle, he's going to be well known. That's not a problem. He's going to be a marquee player, well known. The new fans are going to know who he is. So that's something for them to identify with. And you can see from a marketing standpoint, not t-shirt, but shirt sales, jersey sales are going to be up through the roof, all Carey Price. You got to figure they'll make their money back just in marketing the guy. So I'm worried. I don't know. I'm not just going to say, well, they won't pick him up because of that. And there's a lot of reasons why maybe Price wants to go there. Maybe he wants to go back home. Maybe he wants to have his family living back where they're all kind of from. I can understand that, where family is, I can understand that. Does it give him a better chance to win a Stanley Cup? I don't know about that. I don't know. I would think him staying in Montreal would give him a better chance to win a Stanley Cup. So I don't know about that, if that's an issue here. So like I said, he's a huge name, star power. He's well known in Seattle. They have the cap space. And it brings instant credibility to the team to have a goalie of that caliber. And there's a lot of really good players out there that they can pick up if they can fit them all in under a cap. And it's not out of the question that Price will have a good enough team in front of him, a good enough defense in front of him that they can make some noise from the first drop of the puck for the team. So it's a possibility. So I wouldn't be someone who rules out the fact that, hey, Seattle really might pick him up here. I think it's a huge risk on Montreal's part, and it has to beg the question of why would they be willing to take such a risk? Now, I'm going to say, for everybody who thinks that there's something there with Seattle will take him, then trade him back to Montreal while retaining salary, while Montreal gives more draft picks, and there's a deal there. I don't believe this is the case, because I think there's a rule that they have to hold on to him for one season before they can trade him back to their old team. Now, I think that's a waiver rule, but I'm not sure if that applies here. And if it's not that, the NHL would have to approve such a deal, and I don't know that would happen. So I doubt that would be the reason. I think if Seattle takes him, they want to keep him, and they want to market him as the star player. They'll have. I doubt there's any huge stars out there that are left unprotected. He will be one, and they can get themselves a legitimate star player. So I don't know. I think it's a huge, huge, huge risk. So I guess the pros of this for Montreal, if they do, like, a Carey Price does get taken, remember, that's for nothing. No, there's nothing coming back. He's gone. That's it. The only thing benefit is the cap space, which right now is kind of gold in the league. You have cap space, you're like king of the mountain. So that could be something. So here's the cap space that they'll have. Okay, so I think my numbers are accurate. I believe they had $14 million going in with none of this stuff happening, right? I don't know if that includes, and I do believe it does, the loss of the free agents that are going to be gone. So they'd have $14 million with the expected losses of free agent. I would think that includes Tatar and Deneau. So you take that $14 million, you add Price's 10.5. If Shea Weber is out for the rest of the season or the next season and maybe retiring, you add his $7.8 million. And we don't know anything about what's happening with Jonathan Drouin. So there's no talk of him being ready for training camp next season. You'd think there would be talk of that already somewhere, that he should be ready for training camp. There's none of that. So it's up in the air. So they can add that in. They've got $37.8 million. And even if you take that out, it's still $32.3 million of cap space. At a time in the league when so many teams are up against the cap, are having to let players go for literally nothing. There was a deal between Arizona and I think the Islanders for the Andrew Ladd contract, and they gave Andrew Ladd and I think 4 draft picks, and they got absolutely nothing in return. And I don't know that I've ever seen trade where one team gets nothing. They just take all this. Oh, we're happy with that. And I guess the contract was a bad contract, expensive. They needed the cap space. I get that, but I've never seen it before. So it's a weird time, right? So cap space is gold. There's a lot you can do with it. You can take on contracts that you can either put on the LTIR, or you can take on a sort of bad contract and then get something else in return with that. So there's a lot of options there when you have cap space like that. You can rebuild your team. It is a year where there'll be a lot of good goalies available. Problem is, and I don't know if it'll be the same thing as in '96 when Patrick Roy got traded, and Jocelyn Thibault came in. And listen, there was no hope in hell that he could be successful following Patrick Roy, and the way that it was done. The only similarity to me here with that is the suddenness of the news that he might be gone that quickly like that. It's kind of the same. So I don't know that if Price does get picked up by Seattle and then we bring in another goalie to go along with Allen and say they split the duties, right? Or you find a starter, right? And Allen's still the backup. Does he have the same pressure of replacing Price that Jocelyn Thibault had of replacing Roy, where there was really no chance? I don't think it's going to be the same, but it's still going to be really difficult, right? There's a lot of pressure either way, and I don't know. It's going to be hard. So I guess having Allen having been here for a season, and he'll be, I guess, the starter. I don't know. It's not a great. He's not really a starter anymore, or really was, even though he did the starter role early in his career. But I think, I think he's better off as at least splitting 50-50 or being the backup. So the guy coming in is going to have some pressure. I don't know how that will work. We'll have to see. So it's a lot of cap space. They can do a lot. They can go out and get the star players that we've all been talking about, the elite type of scoring that they need. And on that, there's the rumor about Jack Eichel again. That pops up because now, if this happens, they got the money. The price on Eichel comes down. Apparently, they're not asking for as much, and he's still on the block apparently. And we know that Jack Eichel is kind of player. He's only 24, so he's young. He's got that elite talent. He can score goals, and he'd fit in nicely on first line center. Suzuki behind him. Probably KK either on third or fourth, and then Evans on the other one. I would think Evans on third line and KK on the fourth line, I would think. Gives you good strength down the middle, more offense, and I can see this happening. So there's a big rumor out there about Eichel. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but this is a rumor. So you can get that elite talent. You can get that puck mover you need on defense. And listen, you can get a good goalie, and with a good tandem, you can win. You don't need that elite goalie necessarily to win, although we did see what that brings you in the playoffs. If we had some consistent goal scoring on this team in that Stanley Cup final, this would have been a different Stanley Cup final. And you can see how Price his level of talent could have made that happen, right? So, yeah, so it's a big deal. What else do I want to add to that? I'm not sure. Oh, well, so we're going to move on to a different subject here. I want to see what this says, and then I've got some other news about Phil Deneau. Yeah, well, this is what doesn't come in. Okay, we have the final protection list. If you want to see that again, they are protecting Josh Anderson, Yoel Armia, who is a UFA. And I thought they would protect Armia because of what there was on the roster, who's left. I was pretty sure they weren't going to protect Drouin, and they were going to protect Armia, and they did. Jake Evans gets protected. Brendan Gallagher, because of his no movement clause, they did not ask him to waive that. KK, which I was sure Kotkaniemi was going to get protected. Lehkonen, I definitely, and Toffoli, without a doubt. Toffoli's got a great contract for a guy that can score and do the things he does. I think he's got a great contract, so there's no way they were going to let him be open. Ben Sherratt, because of what's happening with Weber, I think Weber being off the protected list kind of confirms that he's going to be missing some time. Edmondson, who did a great job here, great plus minus, a little better than Sherratt. And I think Sherratt only gets on there because of Weber. And I don't think if they went with the 3 defensemen that Sherratt would have made it if Weber was on that list. And Jeff Petrie with the no movement clause. And, of course, you're keeping Petrie. And Jake Allen, the surprise. I think the surprise of the list is that they're protecting Jake Allen. And Carey Price has waived his no movement clause. I don't know. I'm still – it's hard to – there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. What's on the surface and the explanations that we can come up with, because we talked about it for almost 2 hours last night on the live stream. And if you want to go see what we talked about, the live stream's out there. It was my Saturday hockey talk. Check it out. We had a lot of fun doing that. But we really couldn't come to a conclusion for why he would waive, or they would even ask him. So we're not sure yet. It's hard to know. None of us are in the know or an insider. So we're going to find out. The draft is on the 21st. Right now, the Seattle Kraken have the opportunity to talk to all UFAs that went unprotected. That's the reason Armia was protected, so that they didn't get the opportunity to talk to him and possibly sign him to a contract before Montreal gets an opportunity to. So, or, ahead of everyone else. That's the reason. Any UFAs you saw protected is because the teams want to re-sign them. I think that's the only reason. So it's interesting that Deneau is not on that list. The news came out that they're going to let him test free agency, and that he turned down an offer for, I think, $5 million, 6 years. The news here is this. The fun is just getting started. Now, this is a tweet from somebody. I don't know. It's not an official person, so don't get down on me. I realize this, but this is what's out there. Fun's just starting. Deneau may get signed by Seattle. Counts as their pick if they sign him. And this, I'm not sure. He's not sure. But it sounds right that if they sign a free agent off of somebody's roster, that's their pick. But it probably isn't, because they've been giving these Vegas and Seattle a lot of opportunity to put up a good team. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the pick and you can just sign whoever. And all the stress and anxiety you're putting on themselves is for nothing. Deep breaths, fans. This team is just getting started. So, this possibility we knew it, that they could sign Deneau to 8 years, because they're allowed to sign players to 8 years. Whereas if you're signing a player off of another roster as a free agent, you can only sign him to 7 years. If he's one of your own players that's a free agent, you're allowed 8 years. They're allowed 8 years because they have no players. So everybody's one of their players. Okay, so this brings us to, I guess, my conclusion of who gets picked. I guess, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Price does not get picked, right? It's not. A lot of people believe Byron will. And then a lot of people believe Drouin will. Kulak I put there because he's the next best player. I put 4 people up there. So I've got it listed as Price, Byron, Drouin, Kulak in that order, because I think that's the order that you can look at it and say, well, if it's not Price, it should be Byron. And if it's not Byron, it should be Drouin. I mean, why wouldn't they? They could take a chance on Drouin. It doesn't cost them really anything. They could trade him away or put him in the minors. What is it to them? They've got no invested interest in him. But it could be a huge reward for them, right? If the problem with him is he needs new scenery, and it might take a few months, so it might not be right away, but this could be a huge reward with a high risk, because, he could be a really good player over there. So I think that's why he's a possibility. Kulak, I think, is on the low side if they're looking to fill out a defense. And Kulak is good, but I think if they're looking to draft extra defense, because they have to draft 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goalies. That's what they have to, and it leaves them 4 extra, and they can do whatever they want with those 4. So, but I think it's more likely that Price gets taken over Byron, but I can understand that maybe they won't because of the contract. But we'll see. To me, I got to figure you know what? Prepare for the worst, right? Prepare for the worst, and hopefully that doesn't happen, and then you're super exhilarated. I want to add something that Jeff asked me to add here at the end, and it's a good point, and I think people need to understand this, because I think a lot of people, if Price does get picked up, there's a lot of young people that are Carey Price fans, and they may change allegiances because of the fact that Price got traded, or not traded. He got, kind of let go for nothing. I mean, I don't know how else to look at it, but they might not understand exactly the business aspect of this or what's going on. For those people who want to say that, I'll agree with Jeff very strongly on this, is that for me, and I know for Jeff himself, who is a big Price fan, I cheer for the logo on the front of that jersey, and not like in the grand scheme of things, I cheer for the logo on the front before I cheer for the name on the back. So you got to think of that. Are you a Habs fan, or are you strictly just a Carey Price fan? Not, if you're a Habs fan, it hurts for Price to go, but I cheer for that logo on the front, and that's why no matter how good or how bad my team does, I'm still a huge fan, and I still cheer for them no matter what. I may be upset and I may criticize, yes, of course, but I'll always cheer for the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't see myself ever cheering for another logo on the front of another sweater. I just don't. I think that's it. I don't know what else to add here. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for watching. But before that, give a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe, ring the notifications bell. That'll get you your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge right here at Talking Habs, and get you all the videos notified of any video that comes out and any live stream. And leave any comments you may have about this. Any comments in the comment section. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Please stay safe out there. I will be probably live streaming on the 21st. It, I believe, is at 8 p.m. For the draft. I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm going to try to find it live. And I'm going to live stream, and we're going to find out who they pick. And that's on Wednesday. So look for that. And I guess that's it. So peace out, y'all. See you next video. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.